Hey, this is the franchise Shane Douglas. When you want all the information about the great sport of professional wrestling, all you have to do is come right here, the official podcast for Wrestling News Source.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 168 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Yo, you need to check out Player.fm, Beyond Pod, and Stitcher. Search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
For Twitter, the main site's at WN Source. We are at WNS Podcast. You can find Daniel at WNS_Daniel. You can find Tyler at Tyler_Abear.
That's right. We are everywhere, worldwide.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you checking out the show. We certainly appreciate it as we get closer to WrestleMania. I know we're probably going to be getting a few new listeners, being that WrestleMania is right around the corner. So for those of you who are listening for the first time, certainly do appreciate it. We understand if you don't agree with our opinions and thoughts and stuff like that, and that's okay. But we do appreciate you taking the time to check us out. And if you happen to like us, subscribe to us on either iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you may be listening.
Give us a rating.
Yeah, leave us a review and rating. Let us know what you think. So like I said, WrestleMania right around the corner, less than 2 weeks away now. This time next week, we will be joined by our good friend Ben, coming from across the pond, as they like to say.
We've never met him.
Never met him, haven't heard his voice, only based on what we think he sounds like, which is a rough Wade Barrett impersonation.
Which he's a smaller dude, so he technically will not sound like that.
I think you guys are way off base. There's no way that I think he sounds anything like Barrett. I envision him to have, at least in my head, like a very, or at least a somewhat high-pitched voice.
He's going to sound very elegant. What do you think?
We've been chatting with him,
Ben Karen from Wrestling News Source.
through Facebook for years. So
What's Ben's official position? Director?
Director of Wrestling News Source. So
Fancy.
big boy got his title and everything. So welcome to the show.
We should make up positions of our own that sound really fancy.
Yeah. Official co-host and producer / editor / voice impersonation, Daniel Herron.
What's yours, Tyler?
Don't call me A. Or just don't call me.
I'm a professional nobody.
How about you, Doug? What's your title?
What is my title?
What is your title?
Professional badass.
I want it to sound like super fancy like Ben's, though.
Mm-hmm. How about Director of Operations for Chief Operating Officer of Total Divas?
Okay, I'll be
Chief Correspondent of Total Divas.
I'll be Chief Correspondent of Total Divas and Super Duper Executive Producer.
So that supersedes a producer.
Right.
Super Duper Executive? Was that it? Super Duper Executive Producer?
What is yours?
I was just going to say producer.
Oh, well,
So
you're a Super Duper co-executive producer, and
okay.
I'm Super Duper co-executive producer, also
And
correspondent.
And A-Bear is professional nobody.
Right.
Professional nobody.
All right.
Mine's not so fancy, but
Hey, whatever it takes.
Tyler is asshole supreme.
asshole supreme.
So, So
Professional asshole supreme.
So welcome to the show.
Chancellor asshole. Let's get that.
Got a lot to talk about this week. Got your feedback. Going to discuss what happened on Raw as well.
So we're gonna have to ask
topics.
We're gonna have to ask Ben to address us by our formal titles from now on.
If he claims that he listens to the show, he'll have no problem with that next week. So we'll have to see.
A-Bear, when you pick him up from the A-board, the airport, if he doesn't address you as your full and proper title, then just keep on trucking.
He's like, Tyler, like
Supreme. What was it again?
Professional supreme asshole.
Okay. And professional nobody.
Professional nobody,
okay.
aka professional nobody.
Okay. So let's kick things off with some feedback that we got. The first one's coming to us from Alan on Stitcher saying, "Hey guys, this episode of Raw was excellent in my opinion." He's referring to last week. The no DQ match was fun to watch, and Orton was being a great heel. The closing segment was something I hadn't seen in a long time. As far as violence goes, they actually edited out the chair shot to the head when they recapped it on SmackDown. It makes me anxious for WrestleMania so we can finally get the payoff. I wish I could be there with you guys. By the way, the house show in Corpus was great. It started with Big E versus The Miz, who was entertaining for once and worked the knee, and ended with Daniel Bryan defeating Kane in a cage match. We saw Dolph Ziggler and Fandango. A great time was had. So really cool stuff. Glad we got to hear back from you on how your trip went. So,
nice.
Really good stuff. The next one's coming to us from AKM on YouTube, saying, "Great show as always, guys. This week's Raw had its ups and downs. I think they really played the Cena Wyatt feud perfectly, and I'm looking forward to the match at Mania."
That's Occam, dude. Those aren't an abbreviation.
Oh,
I don't believe.
Well, okay. Take it what you will.
No, we're just gonna give him a nickname so we don't keep fucking this up.
Okay. What's his nickname gonna be?
Well, it's super close.
Is it Occam?
Yeah.
Occam City.
Yeah, Occam City. Right there. That's what I was leaning. A good one, All right. Hope you're a Batman fan, Occam.
If not, and then it's gonna suck for a while. But at least until you get used
to
it,
because we're not gonna change it. Occam City.
So, saying I'm still not fully sold on the Cena Wyatt feud as everyone else. I'm still not fully sold as everyone else on the Lesnar Taker match. I don't see Lesnar being able to keep up with Taker in an extended match due to the disease that made him leave the UFC. I also had an emotional breakdown during the Scott Hall Hall of Fame induction vignette because it brought back memories of when the IC title meant something. And then he has a question that we'll address during the Q&A portion. So thank you for that. Do you guys remember what? I know something to do with Lesnar on his inside and like near his
diverticulitis. Was it diverticulitis or Crohn's?
It's not Crohn's. I think it might be diverticulitis.
Whoa! For Tyler to remember that and just toss it out on the fly is amazing. I'm impressed.
Because I'm undiagnosed. Diverticulitis.
Okay. All right.
I got the symptoms.
You're self-diagnosed.
Self-diagnosed. Self-diagnosed.
So there you go.
So that's like a hole in your intestines.
Well, the thing that confuses me is I know with Crohn's you have trouble with your intestines and stuff, and I know that with diverticulitis you have in your colon. I know when you eat seeds and stuff like that, it gets stuck in pockets in your colon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
what we're trying to say is we're also doctors add MD to those titles that we just made up.
I'm Dr. Nobody.
Dr. Nobody. So, are you kin to Doctor Who?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. Okay. So, but yeah, I think Lesnar should be all right. I mean, we've seen some of his matches in the past with Cena and Triple H and Punk, so he can still hold up his own.
I think Lesnar works as physical of a style as anybody else going in the Fed today. I think he'll be fine.
My main concern...
I'm more concerned with Taker.
Yeah. My concern is what Lesnar could do to Taker, because Lesnar still doesn't really know his own strength, and we haven't seen Undertaker in a year, and...
I think that he does know his own strength. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, that too. So...
I'm not saying he's like gonna like shoot on him. I'm just saying he's like I could
You wanna
see
go?
him. Yeah, I
I
could
was
just
about to
see
say
him
that,
being
you
like,
wanna go?
Reckless. I don't know.
Right.
Not even reckless. That's a poor choice of words as well.
Mhm.
Just he works a real physical style, and Taker's getting up there. So.
Yeah. So I guess this will be one of those last great tests for the Undertaker to see how he can do. But we do appreciate the feedback, Arkham City. So sorry, get used to it. Next one's coming from Waygill on YouTube, saying, "Hey guys, keep up the good work. Great podcast. I'm listening all the way in Liverpool, England."
Nice.
So thank you very much. We
Thank you, sir.
appreciate that. That's awesome. Next bit of feedback we have is from I Hate the Miz. We've heard this guy before. Saying, "Great stuff as usual, but the Total Divas recap really took it to another level, in my opinion. And glad that you guys think Vinny is the man as well. Hope you guys had a great time at WrestleMania."
Thank you.
Yeah,
at least we have another person.
another
who,
Vinny guy.
yeah.
Oh man,
Another Vinny guy. Another guy who
I'm surrounded.
wants to who likes Total Divas.
Mm-hmm.
You need to switch over, man.
There you go. Next one's coming to us from Jared, saying, "Great discussion. Just recently found you guys through a friend, and also I was the one asking if you guys had tickets or maybe knew someone who had them for sale at the San Antonio Raw. Thanks for the retweet on Twitter." And I actually looked into this. That was the WN Source Twitter. So that was more than likely Lee who retweeted that. So I don't want to take credit where credit is due.
Okay.
Looking out for your listeners, you got one until you decide to quit doing what you do, which I hope is not anytime soon. Keep it up, guys.
Thank you.
Everyone's just being so nice to us this week.
I know it's really it's a odd change. And we did have one comment on YouTube that we're just not going to address because we've discussed it several times about the differences between the Battle Royal and the Royal Rumble. Anywho, so if you want to know the difference, go back and listen to 2 episodes ago or whenever it was.
Was it just like a stupid comment, or I don't want to feel like we're ducking negative feedback. It's not negative feedback we're ducking. It's just a stupid comment.
I don't know what you would call it. I mean, if you want, I can pull it up and we can check it out.
Sure, we're gonna address it right fucking now.
Let's do
All
this.
right,
Let's
live-
do this podcast.
We don't
guys.
duck negative feedback.
All right. I'm just trying to make sure that we, get everything done that needs to be done. So I'm also stalling for time as stuff is loading. So here's the comment. It's from Bama Dan 1973-19 saying, "Not even 7 minutes in and I'm done. I gave it a shot, but another complaint that the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is too similar to the Royal Rumble. No. Royal Rumble, 2 men start and another wrestler enters every 60 or 90 seconds, whatever it is that year. The winner gets a title shot, or gets a shot at the championship at WrestleMania. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal will have 30 men in the match starting at the same time, and the winner gets a trophy. It's not the same. Stop saying it's the same."
Oh yeah, you could have just said stupid comment. We already said
Okay, well there you go. Stupid comment. So yeah.
that. We said that. Not only did we say that the prior week when we originally addressed it, we even said it within.
We said it on like.
I would be willing to bet we even said it within the first 7 minutes that he's talking about.
Yeah, quite possibly, unless we were high into feedback around that time. But
Yeah, our point was not that we are confused as to what the rules are either.
yeah.
I mean, thanks for taking the time to listen, but if you're gonna bring like the snark to us, like make sure you understand what we're saying.
Right. So there you go. Okay, we already got that one. Next one's coming to us from Dave C. saying, "I thought Fandango messed up that Hurricane Rana from Goldust, and Goldust landed wrong. If you notice, Fandango misses at least one move every match." I have not noticed that, but I'll keep an eye out.
Me either.
But it happens.
Highly
from time to time.
possible. I don't remember. To be honest, I don't remember at this point. And if that's something I missed or didn't remember, then
Yeah.
I can see getting a little pissed off if someone hurts you or if it's your fault. My point was, I don't remember that, so I wasn't even taking that into account. But my point was, from what I had seen, it seemed like he was pissed that Fandango blew a spot, and it just kind of derailed. Not derailed, but it kind of what was happening in the ring didn't fit like what had happened throughout the match. It just felt off that he was like kind of
frustrated,
right?
Yeah, lost his cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there you go. So thank you all for the feedback. We certainly do appreciate it. Now it's time to dive on into Raw. 2 weeks before WrestleMania, getting ever closer, getting ready for our vacation time so that we can get out of here for a few days.
Vacation time starts Saturday for me.
You can suck it. So,
I have to work Saturday.
Yeah, as do I.
Sunday for Doug.
Well, mine doesn't start until the day that we leave for New Orleans. So
Your vacation starts now.
I mean, I have mentally checked out at work.
I like the crazy look in your eyes you're giving him when you say that.
He's trying to.
Your vacation starts now.
He's trying to channel his John Taffer. He's been watching Bar Rescue and he's getting it with the eyes. Next he's going to be talking like this, and it's going to be just all kind of weird. So, but no, I mean, I have mentally checked out, and not to mention that my supervisor at work is leaving. So now, not only am I not focused on work, but I'm having to learn new stuff at work because I'm having to pick up what he used to do, and so it's getting really tricky for me here at work. But
is he gone? Like his
Friday it will be his last day. So.
He's usually like lurking around as we're recording.
That's why I'm kind of being quiet about that. So,
well, that was my point. You didn't seem like you were being too quiet.
What? But yeah, let's dive on into Raw. We kick things off with Stephanie McMahon coming out to address the universe and what happened at the end of Raw the prior week. I forgot. What was that? You good?
Ham boning.
Ham boning.
Save your life someday.
Ham boning save your life one day. You'd be all like, what? You trying to mug me?
I spilled drink on my shirt and I was like, wait.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, anyway, so Stephanie comes out, addresses what happened the prior week, saying, things got a little too far, carried away, blah, blah, blah. And Randy Orton decides to come out and talk to her, and then Batista comes out, and the fans boo him. And
I feel like I care more about Batista than Randy Orton. I don't know.
Really?
It's like I want to.
Yeah.
It's like I'm pumped for him. I guess with the new movie coming out with Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a bad time for him to come in with all this, with the Daniel Bryan push and all that stuff. But
right.
But I don't know. I feel more for him than Randy Orton. Just do.
Well, Randy kind of just seems like in the middle of it all, It's like Batista is like, I didn't come here for my chance to be interrupted by someone else, and Orton's like, look, I'm just here. What else? But I don't know. Batista had some mic problems. Stephanie slapped Batista, which was pretty cool.
What he said, you get spit on, you get slobbered on?
Drooled on.
You get drooled on.
It was like, Orton drools on you all the time. Why don't you go ahead and drool on him? Well, actually, I bet you get drooled on a lot. And then Stephanie proceeded to slap him. Orton found that to be pretty funny and laughed. And then Batista speared him and ripped his pants. So, what did you think about this segment, Doug? Because honestly, I don't remember a whole lot about it.
I sort of loved it. I mean,
yeah.
I think they're getting really smart with how when they know they're going to get some pushback from the crowd, they're really smart with how they control that. And it's almost like they're on the offensive.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to let you get it out of your system, or we're going to make you get it out of your system.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of put the guys out there that they don't want to see, or even sometimes they'll put the guys out there they do want to see. They give them something to get it out of their system with earlier in the night, and this felt like one of those that kind of strategy. But it just felt like everyone was really good in this. I mean, Stephanie was awesome.
And I like the line from Orton where he's like, "Oh, I'm just tuning them out." It was them having a conversation in the ring. They know the crowd is there, and they're like, no, this is just between you and me.
Well, they both egged the crowd on.
Yeah.
To an attempt to burn them out.
All right, get the chance out.
That's good. I think that's good that they're coming out with a plan, to try to burn them out and do all that stuff like that, because I've been thinking that, way before all this stuff, I was like, what can they do? What can they do? The crowd's trying to take over, and
I want to be really clear. I don't want a dead crowd. I like it when the crowd is hype. I want the crowd to be energetic, but I want the crowd to be receptive to what the show has to offer.
Yeah.
I don't want a crowd that's going to try to take control of the show. I want them to be hot,
interactive,
but receptive to what's going on.
Right.
So I'm actually find it really entertaining, and I find myself really kind of marveling at the way they've really came up with a game plan to control these crowds.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you're gonna, for the people saying they're seeing,
It's going to be happening for a while.
but they didn't take over the show.
No. I actually liked this crowd, with the exception of like the one CM Punk chant and stuff like that. I liked this crowd. They were vocal. They chanted stuff that pertained to what was going on. You know, during the Big Show and Titus O'Neil match, like they weren't into it. You know, and that's fine. They chanted boring. They didn't start chanting JBL, Michael Cole, and all that. You know, all that random junk. You know, they did get the CM Punk chant and the boring chant, but other than that, I felt like this crowd did a really good job of, you know, being vocal, but still being within the confines of, you know, this is how a crowd should
They were
react.
receptive to what
Yeah.
what the show had to offer, and that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any real problems with the show. I mean, I could nitpick. Like, I'd rather them like get behind. I would rather them get behind like Brian than say like chant for CM Punk like in a segment like that. But I mean, you're not gonna be able to stop that. The people who think they're smart and cool are gonna do that, right?
Right.
And that's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I really liked this segment. I thought everyone did a really good job. I was really really entertained by the slap. She just slapped the fucking glasses right off his
Like
face.
Batista, you know, just
Yeah.
yeah.
And he no-sold it like great. Like he didn't flinch or anything. It was like, you know.
He still had a smile on his face.
And
Orton like laughed at him and I don't know. Look, I mean, it is entirely possible that I am like riding on the high of like WrestleMania hype because it's going to be a cool, fun weekend. This is my second Mania weekend, so I kind of know what to expect. And, you know, I know that I'm going to have a good time with my buddies and see a ton of wrestling and, you know, that gets me hype. So it's possible that I'm riding a little bit on that hype already.
getting that adrenaline.
And I'm real positive about the show. But I got to be honest, man, I thought this Raw had like packed a punch. I mean, I thought,
as did I.
you know, I thought there was a lot of good stuff going on.
Yes. You know, they had a lot going on this episode. You know, they covered a lot of ground. Yeah, there wasn't, you know, match after match after match after match after match. We've gotten plenty of those episodes in past weeks. You know, this was let's tell the stories. Let's progress the storylines. One thing that I absolutely cracked up about was whenever Batista's mic was having issues, and you know he's trying to talk, and Steph's like, "Oh, there's a microphone right there. Just pick it up." What were you saying? You were babbling on about something. I don't know. I wasn't even paying attention. And you know, it kind of makes me wonder, like, you know, or it kind of reminds me of what we were talking about either last week or the week before, where we were like, you know, you have two heels in the ring, and on, you know, any other day, they'd be like, yes, let's team up and, you know, we'll fight the good and ha ha ha, you know. But whereas this one, it's just like, no, I hate you. Oh, I hate you too. And now you've got Stephanie McMahon in there as well. So it's like, what are you babbling on about this time? You know, it's like all three people being heels and it working. So, and then the slap happened, which is great. And
Isn't that weird though? Like you said, three.
No, I didn't have a problem with it because they made it, like I said, they made it work. They, you know, they're all saying we have a common goal, but just because we have a common goal doesn't mean we're going to be friends about it.
Yeah.
You know, they all want to win. You know, Randy Orton and Batista want to win at WrestleMania. You know, Steph doesn't want to see Daniel Bryan win. So, you know, they have a common goal, but they don't agree with one another. So, just some interesting stuff to kick off the show. But the first match we had was a fatal four-way to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship between Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, and Sheamus and Christian. And then Big E was ringside for this matchup. I thought this was a very strong matchup, a great start for the show. You know, all four guys had really good chemistry together. The fans were into it. There were a few miscommunications, but other than that, I thought this was a really solid matchup. How about you guys?
I missed part of it.
Doug, how about you?
I thought it was a hot match, and
Mhm.
these are all guys who don't necessarily have a spot other than the Battle Royal, and they were all out there working hard. Put
Yeah.
on a good show, and yeah, it was the first of several hot matches throughout the
Mm-hmm. And
this is a very good wrestling show from a match quality standpoint. This was hot. Cena Harper was hot, and the Shield Real Americans was hot. That's three really not, and I'm not saying those were three like hot little 6-minute TV style matches. They were just three hot matches, like period.
Right. Definitely. And Christian ended up getting the victory on that one, defeating Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, and Sheamus to become the number one contender. But during the match, or towards the end, I suppose, Christian ended up suffering a minor concussion and actually had to pull out of the matchup for main event, which prompted, we got to see main event earlier in the night where they decided to have a triple threat to determine the new number one contender. So unfortunate break for Christian, and that we got to see Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, and Sheamus in a triple threat match where Dolph Ziggler ended up getting the victory on that one, but then he lost to Big E Langston on main event. So not really sure what they're going to do next for Big E, but I know he's going to be in the Battle Royal. So I guess maybe like the night after WrestleMania can be like a good restart for them all. You know, start putting some more focus on it. So we'll have to see. Yep. You trying to steal my lines?
Yeah.
Vintage. But yeah. Next up, we got to see a promo from the Wyatt families. Bray Wyatt delivering a pretty good promo, saying, you know, we can see you. You know, you're all over here. You know, it's
everybody can see you.
Yeah, everyone can see you, but can you see us? So so interesting stuff. Really good. Another one of those interpret it as you will kind of things. What do you think, Doug?
It was fun.
What was it? What was that thing you said a few shows ago? There's a shovel or something. What did you say about the cryptic Wyatt? You were making up your own.
Oh man, I don't remember. That was however long ago. So next up, we got to see Cena Cara going up against Damian Sandow with Scooby-Doo. The Mystery Machine drove in. And, you know, Cena Cara is going to be in the Scooby-Doo video. Tyler, have you bought that movie yet?
No, I want to.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe after the show you can go and pick it up.
Or I'll go home.
Huh?
Or I'll go home.
Or you can go home. Ruh-roh. So yeah, Scooby-Doo is ringside cheering on Cena Cara. And Cena Cara gets the victory over Damian Sandow. Really, you know, it was a short matchup. It was there to plug the movie. It did what it did. You know, it did what it needed to do. So, nothing really to take away from it. So, moving on. What?
You're supposed to make that joke.
What joke?
Shaggy wasn't there.
Oh, well, people saw the Facebook page and commented on it. So, the reason why Shaggy was not at Raw is because, you know, the wellness policy. So, there you go. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, next up, we got to see Los Matadores going up against Ryback in a very short matchup. After the Shield came down and caused a distraction, giving Los Matadores the win over Ryback because on SmackDown, Ryback and the Real Americans, along with the New Age Outlaws and Kane, put a beat down on the Shield. So Shield were back for revenge. And after the matchup, they went to town on Ryback, giving Ryback the triple power bomb. Anything to really take away from the matchup?
Not really. I just saw like a commotion in the crowd, and they were like looking out. I was like, "What is going on?" But then when they panned over in the show, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like they're really responding to them, and yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, the crowd, you know, like you said, definitely responding to what the Shield was doing. You know, they've got that flash to them that puts them as a good face team as well as a heel. You know, the crowd was solidly behind Roman Reigns whenever he was pumping up for the triple power bomb and did the ooh-ah! You know, the whole crowd did that as well. So, you know, it's really good to see the crowd getting into it.
Plus, Ryback deserved to go through it.
He didn't go through a table.
That was Cesaro later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was no.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know. What are you thinking of?
I don't know.
Are you thinking of like the Survivor Series when Ryback faced CM Punk and Shield made their debut and put him through the table?
I wasn't thinking of that, but yeah, that did happen.
It did, yes. So next up, we got to see Michael Cole interview Triple H in the center of the ring. You good mic work from Triple H, as he is known to do. He's done a really good job. He's always done a good job as a heel. So he's
just so damn believable in that role.
Yes, and it was just really good stuff. Teasing the crowd, going, let's talk reality. In fact, let's start the reality era. And the reality of it is that I'm going to destroy the Yes Movement. I'm going to stop Daniel Bryan and everything that he's worked up to have. So, really trying to set him up as a viable threat for Daniel Bryan, because it's the Cinderella story coming to fruition for WrestleMania. With you're going to see Daniel Bryan defeat Triple H and then go on to defeat Randy Orton and Batista, become the champion at WrestleMania, with the pyro going off, the fans going wild and everything. But they have to make it seem like Triple H is a viable threat to this, which he is. But you have to make it appear more believable, especially after what he did last week on Raw.
It's not that they have to. It's not that they have to make him appear as a threat. It's just that the ending of the story has to end in a certain way for the story to make sense, and they're trying to plant a seed of doubt in your head so that it's not a foregone conclusion that Brian's just going to walk out with it. They want you to think that there is a chance that anything can happen,
right?
And that's for the best. But I really like his point of view, his character's point of view, stating that this is not what I wanted. You guys are confused. I was Triple H, the COO, but you guys wanted this is what you guys asked for. This is what Daniel Bryan asked for. They wanted the game, and when they got the game, now you're pissed off about it. I really like that point of view. I do not need the buzzwords of the reality era flying around.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. It seems that the idea of the reality era, which is something we've been talking about for a few months now, is that they want to play with people's perception of these guys as people behind the curtain. And that I think is kind of fascinating, and that I think they can do a lot with, and that I think they can learn to get genuine reactions out of people with, so that it's not either your polite pop or your polite boo. You can cultivate some real emotional attachment to these people, whether that's positive or negative. So I am kind of in favor of this new way that they're trying, or this new. I like what has come out of the quote unquote hopefully this is a 1 week thing, and this isn't
no, the PG era is dead. Long live the reality era.
Well, I don't need a buzzword, and I for goddamn sure don't need them immediately going to the announce team where they're talking about Summer Rae being using insider terms on commentary, talking about Summer Rae being a stooge from Total Divas. Look, I get that the term the term stooge doesn't expose as much as saying heel and babyface and work and shit like that or real, but I think it's a slippery slope, and I think it's a slippery slope that they have not aired on the correct side of in the past so far. So I'm real apprehensive of this reality era shit. I don't want to hear the buzzwords reality era. I don't want to hear fucking insider terms thrown around. I don't want fucking babyface heel jobber t-shirts like they've had in the fucking past. Look, if you're gonna play with people's perception of the people from behind the character, from behind the curtain, to get responses out of people, so far so good. I like what you're doing there, but leave all that other bullshit alone. I don't need fucking all the bullshit on commentary about stooges, and I don't need fucking kayfabe t-shirts. Don't fucking insult my intelligence by saying this shit's fake. Because to me, when you say this is the reality era, it's to me, that says this is when stuff is really getting real, and all that other stuff was fakey fake, which insults me as a fan. It insults me as a fan
when you put a locker room in the center of the ring and things start getting real.
But when you say when you're trying to coin a phrase so that you can get real buzzword happy and say reality era, that to me says things are real now, and all that other shit is fakey fake, and that insults me as a fan. Because I spent years of my life following that fakey fake shit.
Yeah.
So don't fucking insult my intelligence, and don't fucking insult my allegiance to you. But if you're gonna play with your expectations from a perception standpoint, fine. But I don't need all that bullshit coming with it. And the only reason I'm kind of getting a little ranty about it now is because immediately after this segment, they go straight to commentary where they're fucking saying stooge a bunch, which I realize is not the most, like, outing the business term, you know? But it's still one of those insider terms, and that coming right on the heels of the reality era thing just really rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, in that same argument, would you say that, you're talking about how you don't want the insider terms and you don't want it and stuff like that, but on the same page, you're a huge fan of like Total Divas, the behind the scenes, what's going on in their real lives and stuff like that, real quotes. Where does that come into play?
Well, first of all, like, that is not their real lives. That is a reality television show, which we all know.
They're characters who happen to share the same name.
Right. They're also characters on Total Divas.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like we've gotten that point across in us talking about Total Divas. So I don't feel like it's the same thing.
I'm mostly just bringing it up for someone who might be, fairly new or
devil's advocate,
who would come in and say, well, you're all high on Total Divas, but you're hating against the behind the scenes stuff. So, just kind of putting that out there.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same thing. Because they're not on their show telling, like, they're saying, hey, those are our characters on Total Divas, but I don't consider that to be in continuity of WWE television. Like Raw, SmackDown, main event, pay-per-view, I consider that in continuity shit.
Right.
I don't consider Total Divas to be in continuity. And I don't know, like, at that same token, you would be like, so why ever listen to an interview from a person? Like, if you're going to take that staunch of a stance against it, you can say, why would you listen to a shoot interview? Why would you want to know anything about the business? I'm not saying that I'm obviously, I do a wrestling fucking podcast. I'm obviously fascinated by what actually happens in the business, or I wouldn't be doing this. But when, like, in the confines of a movie, they don't turn to the screen and wink and say, that's the good guy, this is the bad guy. It's like, the good guy's gonna win here, guys. Like, you don't ruin, like, the illusion as it's happening.
The fourth wall.
Right. Yeah, you don't, like, not as it's happening, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that if you're going to make that argument about Total Divas, you would say, like, why would you care to know anything about the business other than what's happening on Raw, what's happening on SmackDown? I think you don't break the illusion during Raw. Like, if you're going to do it, like, off of
Earth 1 and Earth 2. We've been saying it for months.
Yeah.
Keep that separate. So, Tyler,
like, I don't want Triple H to be like, this is fake, but now it's getting really real. Like,
you're not even real cops.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I'm listening to an interview of Triple H that is not on WWE programming, that's different.
Right.
That's not the same continuity.
Right. What do you think, Tyler?
Sorry, I agree with him. I mean, that's weird to saying this is real when it's some things he says it's real and fake, and they mix it up, and
It's when Earth 1 and Earth 2 clash, and you get that
with all the
gray area,
like you already said, like all the stuff that's happening these days with even all everything's changing, the whole landscape. Even like from the fans. Taking over the show from Hills doing face doing Hillish things and Hills doing face.
Yeah, all kind of craziness. But other than that, really good mic work from Triple H.
This is the best way I can put it. Like, I may watch an interview with the stars of, like, say, okay, Captain America's coming up. It's coming out next week. I'm gonna make you guys go see it while we're in New Orleans. But, like, Winter Soldier will be out next week. Like, if in the middle of Captain America goes, don't worry, guys, it's a fucking movie. I got this. Like, in the middle of his shit, like, then you're like, that kills the drama of the fucking movie. So within your continuity, don't tell me it's really real now, or that
like those
fake, right?
Those old, like, DirecTV commercials they had a while back, whenever they would have, like, a scene from a movie, and they would just go, oh, want to know how I got this? By switching to just, like, they break in midway through the scene.
Right, but if I'm hearing an interview with the stars of the movie talking about the movie, I don't then say that's a different thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, but other than that, really good mic work from Triple H. Just
he's totally believable.
Plays an excellent heel, always has. Next up, we got to see a short match from Cody Rhodes going up against Fandango. We say it was short because Goldust decided to dance next to Summer Rae, and Summer Rae took offense to that and decided to have a dance-off impromptu with Goldust, and that caused Fandango to get distracted. Disaster kick. Cody Rhodes gets the victory. Where are they going with this?
I don't know, but that finish was awkward.com because Summer Rae did the fake injury thing, but nobody, she didn't sway the outcome of the match by doing it, and then she just hopped up and laughed it off like it was a trick all along, but it didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Goldust didn't have any concern. Fandango was like, what's going on?
Right.
Why is Cody Rhodes' foot coming closer to my ow?
Right.
And then she's like, oh, yay, I tricked you. Oh, we lost.
Awkward.com. I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
Awkward turtle. So, yeah. So Cody Rhodes ends up getting the victory. Next up, we got to see Hulk Hogan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Joe, insert last name here, whatever, coming out and talking about, Arnold's
Did you know
new
who the fuck
movie.
this guy was? I had no clue.
No idea. It was a tall dude, though.
He's a big dude, taller. Do you know who the fuck that guy was? You got fucking Hulk Hogan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and this dude, I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
An insert name here.
Yeah.
Joe, not Rogan.
I heard someone say that he was a big wrestling fan, actually, too. And I can't, dispute that because I don't know. I still don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
he'll get a replica championship belt in no time, though.
I kind of love this, though. I mean, I kind of love this.
Yep.
And Miz was kind of, great in this, even.
Whoa.
Hogan was how the crowd was so into Hogan, and that was awesome. The crowd was so into Arnold, and that was awesome. I like Arnold, too. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking,
He brings joy just by hearing him talk. Oh, it's great to be back in New York.
I mean,
New Orleans.
he was
New
like,
Orleans.
he was
It was
putting,
WrestleMania.
he was putting Hogan over huge. He was putting over Bruno. It was just cool. I
He
mean,
was so short. Compared to Hogan, he was short.
yeah, that other dude's tall.
That other dude was like
a giant.
a foot taller than
He was
Arnold.
standing in the middle of two giants.
Yes.
Supposedly he lost. I heard something about bodybuilders spine not.
Shrink down a little
Yeah,
bit.
whatever. He was probably on steroids, guys. I mean,
He was.
Yeah, But
I want to go to WrestleMania.
yeah, I mean, no, it was cool. I got nothing but love for Arnold. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me.
Mhm.
I mean, and I got nothing but love for Hogan, and
And that other guy did a good job.
yeah. He was kind of goofy, but whatever.
I got this, guys.
They kind of shit on that guy too. They're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Give it up for him. So,
Give it up for him.
give it up for Joe.
They were fucking
Hogan. Yeah.
They were hot for Hogan.
Arnold, yeah.
They were fucking hot
Joe.
for him.
Who are you? So,
Even I kind of loved how the Miz was. I kind of loved how the Miz was like, you guys play tough guys. I'm a real fucking tough guy who does acting on the side. I totally popped for that. And I don't know. I thought that was a great line. I thought Miz was totally fine here. I don't know.
you all saw it and you loved it.
Yeah, I love him comparing his shitty DVD release movie.
His Lifetime film that didn't
Yeah.
even make it to DVD release.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. His straight to video movie. He compared that to their
You'll see it at your $5 bin at your local car wash.
and I love that he was like, you
car
guys,
wash.
you guys pretend to be tough guys. I'm a tough guy who does acting on the side. I thought Miz was kind of great here. I don't know,
Whoa.
it's a little weird to
That's a tough pill to swallow.
everything he did. I thought he was fine in everything
Yeah.
he did. I'm still very skeptical of using I get the argument for why they do it, but I still kind of don't love how they bitch their guys. Even the Miz is dumbass. I don't. I kind of don't get how or why they so quick to bitch their guys out for guys who just come in to promote shit. But I mean,
Arnold wanting to get into Andre the Giant's Battle Royal.
yeah, I mean,
Wow.
at least it was Hogan that gave him the heave over. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
And that Joe guy flubbed his line just a little bit. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, you want me to leave? Or no, it was something like that. It was there towards the end. He was just like, make me or something. I don't remember, but he flubbed it up a little bit. And it was kind of like, I feel like he forgot a word or two, but nitpick right there.
I mean, again, I may just be like high on like Mania season and like be overly optimistic right now.
Well, I'm just overly nitpicking on it.
But I mean, like, did you have a problem with anything he said or did?
No, I had no problems with this segment whatsoever. They did what they wanted to do.
Good. I mean,
they plugged the movie. They hyped WrestleMania. They got the cheers from the crowd for saying, "Hey, we got 2 more spots for you if you want." Yeah, and and that prompted the Miz to come out. And
this was like by far the least offensive like product placement, like plug whatever we're here for thing that they've done. Is way more like less offensive than the Betty White shit. Way more less offensive than what was that Michael Strahan guy where him and Titus did and the Miz did that like that crazy weird thing. Like what the fuck was happening there?
Yeah,
it's way more. It's been the best one of these.
They went in the ring, plugged what they needed to plug. Had the bad guy come out, take care of the bad guy, send the crowd happy. Yay, okay, moving on.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine.
I mean, it was the same with the Scooby-Doo. Like, there was a lot going on in this in this week's Raw.
I'm not like a Scooby-Doo fan, so they didn't pop me for. I'll pop for Arnold because I mean, who the Conan, Terminator, like the fucking list goes on and on, right? But like, I'm not a Scooby-Doo kid, so I mean.
Right, but what I'm saying is like it wasn't
shove it down my throat.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, by the way, before we go to commercial, download the app and make sure to buy Scooby-Doo and make sure to use the hashtag Scooby-Doo.
I wonder who was Scooby. I'm sure that's on a news site somewhere, right?
It was Unico.
Was it?
No.
Who was it?
Sin Cara was Unico. But it's a long-running gag.
You said Hunico. You said it was Hunico, but when you said Hunico, my head said Camacho, and I was like, I don't know, Camacho's pretty fucking bulky, dude.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And the question is, who was the driver of the Mystery Machine? Was it Fred? Was it Daphne? I don't know. But anyways, no problems with this. I felt like they did a really good job. But yeah,
my relationship with Scooby-Doo is like begins and ends with, oh hey, Batman and Robin were in that one. Like, that's it.
The Harlem Globetrotters were on there as well. Johnny Bravo was on there one time. Yeah, Scooby-Doo's been around for a while. 60s or so. So yeah, next up we got to see the Big Show going up against Titus O'Neil. This was the match that the crowd kind of lost interest in, but it wasn't like a terrible match, but it was kind of just one of those, what's going on? I guess it was more of a, let's test the Big Show. He's the odds-on favorite for the Battle Royal, so we'll put him up against another big guy being Titus O'Neil and see how they clash and all that. And they kind of teased the Titus O'Neil trying to get Big Show over the top rope with the clotheslines, and Big Show kind of catching himself, getting back in the ring, and but other than that, it was kind of just a throwaway matchup. So Big Show ended up getting the victory on that one. Next up, we got to see a backstage segment with John Cena, kind of washing up, getting ready for his matchup, and he happens to catch in the mirror the mask from the Wyatt family. And he turns around and the mask is suddenly gone, and he seemed to be a little bit creeped out about it. Something I really liked about it. One last week after Raw, they normally do the Michael Cole and Triple H segment, where they discuss what's going on WWE.com. This past week they had John Cena, where he's like, I'm scared. Like I don't know what they want to do. He's like, I haven't scouted Bray Wyatt. Like, I don't know what he's capable of doing. I just know that he wants to hurt me and hurt my legacy. So it's showing that Cena finds Bray as a threat. The entire Wyatt family, I should say, find him as a threat now. So he's kind of getting weirded out, getting creeped out, psychologically getting played by the Wyatt family, which is good. You need to have you need to have it seem like, okay, they might have gotten into his head. This could cause Cena to lose, because too far in between to Cena lose cleanly. Which not saying that won't happen, but I'm not really sure where I'm going with this now. I kind of lost track.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I agree with too far in between. Does he lose cleanly? I think he loses cleanly to the guys he needs to.
Yeah.
The guys that matters. Punk, Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Who else should he have jobbed clean to in the past few years?
Rock, but that led to the, rematch the following year.
I think
But,
I think that was a business decision. They were testing him, and I think that's somewhat acceptable.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, like,
I can understand people saying like I find Cena still like I'm kind of tired of seeing him. He could use some time off to freshen up. I understand that, but like this whole like idea that he needs to start losing to everybody, like he doesn't need you like. If Cena just starts jobbing to everybody, then it doesn't matter. He doesn't give anybody the rub then.
Doesn't mean anything.
Because it doesn't mean anything. Like, he loses to the guys he needs to lose to. Punk, Bryan. He, like you said, he probably should have lost to Lesnar, but it was a business decision. They were making sure Lesnar was back to play ball, and he wasn't going to bounce on his, get out of his contract early again after he beat their top guy.
Right.
So, it makes sense from a business standpoint. But, Wyatt's a guy who I think they're giving a genuine look at. Is this a guy we're going to put over Cena? So, I don't know. Like, I don't think that whole, like, Cena doesn't lose enough does not hold any water with me, because I think he loses to the guys he needs to lose to.
Right. One thing that I do like what they're doing with Cena is sort of having him being if you want to make a name for yourself, if you want to be the future of this business, that's what you have to do. You have to beat me. And this is a good challenge for Bray Wyatt to enter that next realm, of the future of WWE, because, 5 years from now, we probably won't see John Cena. We probably won't see Randy Orton. It's highly likely that we will, but there's still that strong possibility. Batista will be gone. Orton might be gone. Undertaker will be gone. Mysterio will be gone. Del Rio's going to be gone. Maybe even Big Show, maybe even Kane. So you have, these are the names that are going to be probably out the door within the next 5 years or so. So this is the time to start building that next generation of guys. I think, anyways.
My worry is that they're so light on the heel side that I think he's going to get babyfaced in this somehow. Not by their design, but the crowd is going to react to him as the babyface. Yeah. And they're really light on the heel side right now. You got Brock Lesnar. What's the top-notch heel that you got besides Lesnar? You need Wyatt. You need the Wyatt.
Batista, but
they're
the crowd, more just like boo because I hate you.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess like in sort of the new generation, like the new way of doing things, like legit heat is legit heat. So I don't know, but
oh no, he's out though. But Christian.
Well, he'll be back shortly.
Triple H, I don't count because he's part-time at best. So that's those three guys are your top heels, I guess. Yeah. But they're definitely more heavy on the. But I do kind of like this trend of if the crowd genuinely wants to cheer for a guy, they're just gonna make him baby faces.
Right.
Like Shield, you guys want to cheer these guys? They're fucking baby faces now. That's good, I think, because you fight against the people who are just that you fight against the people who are going to cheer the like cool heels. You fight against
I think the Shield turn was because of the feud between the Wyatt family. The fans are sort of forced to choose, and you go back and watch their matchup, it was still divided. It was still 50-50 with the let's go Shield, let's go Wyatt's, chants and stuff like that. But, given the opportunity, more people went with the Shield, and it just stuck that way. I think
But I think that I easily see that happening with Bray Wyatt and John Cena at WrestleMania.
Right.
I could easily see like 70 or however many thousand people are like going crazy for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, you're going to get, okay, on a given night, Cena's reaction is 50-50. 50% like him, 50%
Depending
don't.
on the city, but
yeah,
generally
on an average, depending on where they go, I would give it a 50-50. You always have the "Let's go Cena sucks" chance, no matter where he goes. He always gets a reaction. Whereas Bray Wyatt, he does the heel things, but it's sort of a throwback to the gimmicks, And I think we're seeing sort of witnessing a return of gimmick-ish stuff coming back. He's got a catchy theme music, which, that's going to get over with the crowd. Anytime you got a really good theme song that the crowd can get behind, they're going to get behind it. We witnessed that at TLC with everyone clapping along with the theme. So you get people involved in that, so they're gonna like when they hear the song, meaning that you're gonna like a little bit more of Bray Wyatt. And he's been delivering really good mic work, so the people are really liking that because there are a lot of people who are talented on the roster who can't deliver a promo, and Bray Wyatt goes out there with a microphone and does some really good work. So it's. I don't know. I don't know.
I like the guy, but the problem I see them running into is he's popular, so he's going to get babyface reactions some of the time. But that gimmick doesn't work in a babyface role for me.
No, it doesn't. And
if he just becomes babyface pandering to the crowd, he loses his teeth. Like it's like that cuts the nuts off the gimmick, right?
Brooklyn, we're here.
So
yeah, that's one thing that they should cut out, him doing the city chant, because that always gets a pop.
If he becomes a babyface and is pandering to the crowd, that cuts the nuts off the gimmick. It doesn't work as a babyface gimmick.
Right.
So I think but he's a popular guy that the fans want to cheer. So I find that's like a conundrum.
It's sort of a give and take. Yeah. Like, well, you want him to get a reaction.
Not a conundrum, whatever. You know what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah. It's, you want him to get a reaction. That's mission number one for any wrestler. Get a reaction out of the crowd. You can work on your ring abilities and all that later. It's how do you get over with the crowd? Do you get a reaction? Yes. Okay. Going back to what you said, he should not do anything babyface. Like Tyler said, calling out the city names. Cut that out. Like, I get it. You want to make it seem, you want to make each city feel a little special, but save that for a face,
The live band thing that was rumored.
Yeah.
That's a baby face.
That's a terrible decision. Yeah. Keep him heel, keep him delivering the awesome promos. Don't pander to the crowd. No matter how much they clap for you, no matter how much they chant for you, do what your character does or, would do. Stay true to the character, keep doing bad things. And, like I said, Cena's reactions are normally a 50-50. So if you go and attack John Cena, that 50% is now cheering you on top of the people that were already cheering you. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's fucking up. I'm saying it's a problem with how the crowd responds. How the crowd wants to respond. It's a problem they're going to be facing sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So.
And I don't necessarily know how you avoid that unless you just say, it doesn't matter what the crowd says. We're just going to stick to our guns with this guy.
And I think that's what they need to do.
But see, I'm so put off by that. Like, I'm so put off by like a crowd. Like, I get it. Like, I find it like I see the problem because you don't want to disingenuously like cheer or boo someone, right? Like, it's better to have a real like emotional response to something than to politely cheer or politely boo, right? Because that's the desired response. I do that, but I can see like people just want to cheer who they want to cheer and boo who they want to boo,
right?
But I'm real put off by I don't want to see like a guy and this is just a off the wall example. I don't want to see like a guy like kick a pregnant lady in the stomach in the middle of the ring and get like a babyface pop for it. That's real off putting to me.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I don't know. So I don't know how you solve that problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just some people like the bad guys, and some people like to cheer whoever they want, regardless of what they do. So, it's just it's such a toss up in the air now. That,
it's just like to me, it's just weird because like, let's use Star Wars for an example. I think Darth Vader is a fucking amazing heel. Everyone loves Darth Vader as a heel, but in the course of the movie, no one's cheering for Darth Vader.
Right.
You want the fucking Rebel Alliance to pull it out, dude. You're not cheering for the Empire, right? Mm-hmm. But you can still appreciate them as heels. You're like, that's excellent heel work, but I'm cheering for I'm rooting on the guys that should win, right?
Right.
So I just find that that weird like constant battle in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just never-ending battle.
Yeah, I mean, I just find it more like I don't know. What I've lost.
Like some fans are there to cheer for the good guys, boo the bad guys. Some people are there simply to cheer for the bad guys and boo the good guys. Some people are there just to be there. Some people were there just to try and get themselves over by doing ridiculous chants. There's a plethora of people who are going to the wrestling shows, and it all depends on what, I don't want to like try and categorize people, but what category they fall under. So I don't know. It's just I'd like to see the reactions pertain to the character. So if a guy's doing bad things, the people are unhappy with that and boo him. But like I said,
that's how I conduct myself as a fan. Like if I appreciate the heel work, I boo as a sign of appreciate. Like the desire. If you're a heel, your desired effect is to be booed. So I show my appreciation for a heel by booing them.
Well, here's an interesting topic.
But I definitely understand wanting to cheer who you want to cheer, though.
Right.
But it's just so off-putting to me when it goes against the grain of like what's being shown to you so much.
And one good example that I'd like to talk about would be Cesaro, because he and Jack Swagger are technically the heel team. They're going up against the Usos, they're going up against the babyfaces, Los Matadores, whoever else they go up against. So technically, they are portraying the heels. However, Cesaro is massively over with the crowd right now with the Cesaro swing. He's got the face thing where he's, spinning them around, and now Zeb's getting in with the counting with it. So he's embracing it. So if you go to a live show and you see Cesaro, if you saw him today where his character is right now, do you cheer or do you boo him?
Well, he like you said, he's in more of a like an in-between position. Like he's like almost babyface.
Yeah. He's like he's like swinging towards the face route.
So I can understand some like that's a judgment call, right? But I don't think Bray Wyatt's a judgment call.
No,
I think he's true blue heel.
But it's the fact that there are so many fans who are anti John Cena that they're jumping on the Bray Wyatt, let's go Bray Wyatt fan base. So, but I mean, it's you cheer who you want, you boo who you want. That's fine.
To me, it just always bothers me.
Yeah. So, just
we are so off topic. How did we even get here?
I don't know, but it's good, because I'd like some of the listeners to weigh in on this and let us know. I feel like we're like retreading ground we tread all the time. But it always comes back to that, though. I mean, it does.
I don't know.
So, and Tyler over there.
Tyler's like, shut the fuck up.
Tyler's ready to go home and get ready for bed, huh? Are you tired, Tyler? Tired, Bear?
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're fine. So next up we got to see John Cena going up against Luke Harper. This match ended up in a no contest, but it was a very good matchup. Showcased what Harper can do. It was a good showing for Cena. He was keeping his eyes on Bray Wyatt, but the match ended in a no contest after the lights went out. The lights come back on. Cena's tied up in the ropes, wearing the mask, and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family are surrounding him, laughing merrily and so, and the fans reacted to it by chanting that this is awesome, which I felt the exact same thing, because you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a little plastic mask, but to see that visual of him tied up, that they did that to him, I felt it was very powerful. It was really good, and it definitely puts Bray Wyatt in the position of being a threat. Well, how about you?
Yeah, it was a hell of a match. I like that.
They've been showing him that he is a threat, though.
Yeah, and they've had Cena going up against Harper and Rowan over the past couple of weeks. So
I just want to point out to people who don't appreciate I can understand not appreciating Cena for some things, but I just want to who's had more memorable TV matches than Cena lately? He's had an awesome one with Cesaro, and he's had an awesome one with Harper. And outside of the Shield stuff, which you're painting with a lot more different colors, there's a lot more artistic ability when you're doing three-ways. But as far as straight-up singles matches, Cena's had the most he's the common denominator in the most memorable singles matches in recent history. Yeah. That's like you don't have to love the guy. I'm just saying, but just
give it up for him.
I'm just saying, understand that in the best two singles matches in recent history, realize he was the common denominator in them. So that I don't see how you don't respect that. But that's I guess that's like my personal thing where I'm like, yo, give some.
You got CM Punk versus Cena, Daniel Bryan versus Cena. Who was it? Cesaro versus Cena at Raw a few weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm talking strictly Raw matches in recent history.
Oh yeah, I mean, just really good stuff. And if you want to go back even further, the Shawn Michaels versus John Cena match at Raw.
That was years ago. But
yeah,
one in England or whatever. One in the UK or England or whatever.
I think so. It was like 7 years ago. It was after
they went like 40 minutes or something. Crazy on.
It was like, okay, this is your main event. Like, dude, it's like 9:15 or something.
That's been years. Yeah.
Yeah, It was after WrestleMania 23. So very.
That was a great match.
It was awesome. So, yeah, I mean, you got to give props to Cena. You know, you can't just say, oh, Luke Harper was amazing. We're like, well, you know, he's feeding off of someone. You know, he's got someone to
Luke
go
Harper
off of.
was amazing.
He was.
But, you know.
But Cena did equally as well.
Right.
It's just really good stuff. And the visuals, like I said, seeing John Cena wearing that mask, just really cool.
Luke Harper is so great in that he can walk the line perfectly between I'm just a background thug, like he's just standing there, like letting Bray Wyatt say whatever he needs to say, but then he can walk that line between I'm just thug number one or thug number two, but then he can go in the ring and be like, oh, it's about me now, like and put on a great show. So he can really walk that line between like I'm second fiddle or I can be the man when I need to be the man, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Really enjoyable matchup. What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I every time he's in the ring, I enjoyed it. You know, I never followed him in the Indies that much, but I've enjoyed his stuff in WWE.
Very cool. So that takes us into the next matchup. We got to see Naomi going up against AJ, and this was a short matchup because AJ decided to take the count out. She didn't want anything to do with it, and then gets stopped at the ramp by Vicky Guerrero, who said, you said some pretty mean stuff about me on SmackDown last week, and we certainly have had our past. So that's why I'm going to introduce the Vicky Guerrero Diva Invitational at WrestleMania, where you're going to face pretty much the entire Divas division. Even bring in Rosa Mendez.
I'll say it is all of the.
Yeah, I think it's like 14 or 15 girls in all. It's going to be in this matchup, and if my memory serves me correctly, it's similar to what happened at WrestleMania 20 for the Cruiserweight division, where they have two people in the ring. They face off one-on-one. Then there's pinfall or submission or disqualification, and then the winner stays in the ring. Next person enters the ring, but you don't know who it's going to be because they're all surrounding the ring at once. And then,
the music.
No, they all come out. They play the music. They all come out, and they stand around the ring waiting for the next person to be eliminated. And then once it gets down to the final person, the champion walks in and faces that person. And then from there, whoever wins that match is the winner. So that's what I remember. I don't know if they're going to go by the same rules on that one, but yeah, Diva Invitational for the entire Divas division. So Emma and Summer Rae and Eva Marie all get Divas Championship title match at WrestleMania or something like that. So crazy madness stuff. But after that, we got to find out the final inductee for the WWE Hall of Fame for 2014, none other, Razor Ramon. So really good stuff. It led me to question, is it Razor Ramon? I know they've been saying Razor Ramon, but is it not going to be Scott Hall? Or is it just the character Razor Ramon?
Razor Ramon.
It looks like they only showed footage of Razor. It looks like they're leaving open like a double induction open for like an NWO thing. It looks like what they're trying to do, which I'm not really in favor of. A guy's in, he's in. Like, I don't know, like, I feel real weird about them inducting like guys twice under different gimmicks and stuff. It's WWE.
Like Triple H. Triple H is going to go in. He's going to be inducted, and then he's going to be inducted for D-Generation X, and then he's going to be inducted for Evolution.
That was for Ric Flair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, going to get all the rings.
Yeah, but at least Flair is consistently Flair. Like, he's not being inducted under different gimmicks and stuff. You know what I mean?
Scott Hall, or no, is it Kevin Nash and Vinny Vegas and
Yeah. And Super Shredder. But yeah, so big congratulations going out
At the
to Scott
rate they're
Hall.
inducting people, though, like, how long do you think they can, like, keep this up before they're, like, scratching, like,
Dean Ambrose, the 2017 Hall of Fame inductee. So, I mean, they can still do it for a while, and they can always shrink down the class to maybe like 5 people per year or something like that. But I heard a report somewhere, but I didn't click on it, that Bret Hart said that Owen's going in next year. So if that is confirmed, then finally, major props. So congratulations to
so
Scott
that means
Hall.
they won't. That means Macho doesn't go next year. You can't do 2 dead guys, I don't think. I mean, that's too much of a downer. I mean, not trying to be morbid, but it's too much of a downer to do 2 dead guys. You know what I mean?
It would be difficult. But yeah. So major congratulations to Scott Hall. He's going to be out at WrestleCon. The weekend of. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to be out there the weekend of WrestleMania. So if you want to purchase tickets, if you're going to WrestleMania and you want to go to WrestleCon and get your picture and autograph with Scott Hall, go to ClutchCityProductions.com and get all that stuff, all the information there.
We're going to try to be out there Sunday for sure.
Definitely.
Anytime we have.
Maybe even like Saturday morning or something. So Friday, Saturday morning, you can go out there.
Possibly. I don't know how long, like, for each, but
yeah,
depends on. We're just going to fit it in between our other shows, whatever we can.
We'll find a way.
We will.
So,
I mean, Sunday for sure we'll be there. We're going to fit in the rest Saturday. There's not a Friday. It's only open Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
But we're going to fit in wherever we can on Saturday.
Cool. And for those of you who are listening who are going to WrestleMania, be on the lookout. We're going to be posting where we're going to be throughout the WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be really cool. So that way, if you want to come down and chill with us and say hi and stuff like that, we're more than welcome to say hello. But that takes us into the next matchup. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose going up against the Real Americans. And just another solid matchup. I really like the work all 4 people did. Rollins.
It was more than solid. I thought it was really fucking good.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was,
It was. And, the crowd solidly behind the Shield. And
yeah, they were pumped up. You see the Shield like, and just,
just really good stuff. And, Cesaro slaps Dean Ambrose whenever Ambrose is on his knees, and he kind of like shakes it off and is like, what just happened? And then he slaps him again. And he's like, oh no, hit me. Come on, man, hit me. And
I don't know who, I forgot who Ambrose attacked where he jumped on.
Come on, Dean, tag me. But just really good stuff. Doug, what did you think? You said
it was awesome. Yeah, this was like the third like really good match of the night. The number 1 contendership for the IC title on main event was awesome. The Cena Harper was awesome, and this was awesome as well. I'm not gonna go too in depth because Tyler looks like he's about to die over there. We still got to get through a couple more things. But
I keep on coughing.
Oh, but yeah. So Rollins and Ambrose get the victory. The crowd goes nuts, and then the Shield decide to attack the Real Americans, like we said earlier, because of the altercation that happened on SmackDown. So the Shield end up putting Cesaro through the table. Crowd going ballistic, going absolutely nuts. And the Shield stand in the center of the ring, unified as one. So really cool stuff. But after that, they start getting ready to leave, and Kane comes out with the New Age Outlaws sporting some suits and announced that the Shield is going to be taking on the New Age Outlaws and Kane at WrestleMania. So that goes back to what we were discussing last week, where we're not going to see a triple threat. We're going to see a 3-on-3.
I would really, especially after this match, but just in general, I would really rather see, unless you're going to put the belts on the Real Americans, I don't see why they need to be in that tag, the 4-way tag or whatever, the belts. I would much rather see Kane and the Real Americans versus the Shield.
Yeah. No interest to see the Outlaws?
I'm sure it will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I just think that for what I want out of a Mania match with those guys, I think that the Real Americans are especially after tonight, seeing the chemistry they have, that's the match. Like, I would much rather see those guys in Kane,
right,
than the Outlaws and Kane.
But
especially if they're not gonna put the belts on the Real Americans, I don't know why they even need to.
They're
be
not
in
even
that.
putting the belts up for Mania. Or
Yes.
tag team belts?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
four-way, right? It's Ryback, Real Americans,
1, 2,
Usos,
3,
and
4.
you.
Los Matadores. So, but yeah, it was just broken not too long ago on WWE.com. There's going to be a fatal 4-way tag match for WrestleMania. Like you said, Usos, Ryback, Los Matadores, and Real Americans. So we'll have to see how that plays out as well. But yeah, Kane and the New Age Outlaws will be facing the Shield at WrestleMania. So that takes us into the final segment. Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman coming out and cutting a promo on the Undertaker. Brock Lesnar says, I'm not here to talk, I'm here to fight. So Undertaker, come on out. The Druids or Minions or whoever you want to call them, they come out, bring a casket. Lesnar and Heyman seem a bit startled at first, and then Lesnar's like, "No, I'm not afraid of this," and taking his time trying to open the casket, and finally does. Nothing there.
Tricky camera angles, and then panning off, so we don't see how he gets in the
Yeah,
casket.
they could have done a little better job of that. You kind of see the apron moving around a little bit, but I mean, other than that, it was fine. Doug, what did you think about that?
I hate to be a downer and end on a downer, but I don't think they're telling the right story for this match. Like,
this beast is not conquering.
Well, look, I mean, I think like the story you tell with the Undertaker is that you have to put doubt in that. You have to make it seem like the guy is a credible threat to the streak.
Mm-hmm.
Taker is like stabbed his fucking hand, a hole in his hand, and fucking fucking clotheslined him over the ropes. Like every instance that these guys have met up, Taker has been like not manhandled, but Taker's had the upper hand every time these guys have squared off like face to face.
Yeah, which I think with one Raw to go before Mania, I think that's where Lesnar's.
Is that enough though? I don't know that
it's not, but
I think you flip it. I think Taker gets. Brock is the guy who looks strong up until the match. You got to make it look like he's going to take out the streak.
Mm-hmm.
Like the story isn't that because for older and more in tune fans, everyone knows the streak's not in question, right?
Right.
Like maybe some more casual fans, maybe some younger fans, that's a story you can get away with, right? But anybody who's like tuned in, like even slightly knows that the streak's not in question. So you don't say, well, Taker just whoops ass up until he goes and wins the streak, defends the streak anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make you plant the seed of doubt, or you make it look like Brock has a chance of ending the streak. Like I think they're telling the story backwards.
This kind of just popped into my head as you were talking to me. I kind of see it as like the kid who's kind of testing the grounds for something. It's like, I don't know, like when you were little and you had like your dad's hand or something like that. And he put your hand on his hand and he tries to catch you, and you do it. And after a while, he finally catches you and let go. Ha ha ha. Like I feel like this is the Undertaker. Like he walks out to the ring, stabs Brock Lesnar. Oh, I got away with that one. Then
that's not good. If you get a fucking hole in your hand, you're not gonna go shit.
Okay, so
bad analogy.
It is, but this is what pops into my head. Okay, so bear with me. So this week, he does the mind games, bring out the thing. Oh, I made you think they were there, and then now we're here, and I'm gonna clothesline you over. Oh, I got you again. Next week, I feel like that's gonna be the third time where he goes out, and that's when Lesnar catches him, destroys him, and then maybe
you switched your analogy in the middle.
Huh?
You switched your analogy in the middle because you're like, at first you're like Taker is the guy who's trying to grab, right?
No, Lesnar. Like Undertaker's going out there and, oh, I got you. Oh, I got you.
You said Taker first.
But why would Taker be that person in the analogy?
It's just what they're doing. It doesn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying. They're telling the story backwards.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But they have the chance next week to make up for it.
Taker's not the prodder. He's the guy who has the streak. People prod him, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, but it's, like you said, it's being booked very oddly, and this is what popped into my head. And so next week's going to be the time where Lesnar gets his hands on Taker, and then he demolishes it.
Because they absolutely have to,
Yes.
like at this point. But still, that's like weeks of telling the story the wrong way.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm just saying when you were saying that, that's
Yeah.
what popped in my head.
I got you.
Eat, sleep, and break the streak.
Yeah. So,
He's a Paul Heyman beast.
Yeah, Paul Heyman beast.
Sponsored by Jimmy John's.
So, yeah. So, there you go. So, that's what closes out Raw. Lots of stuff to talk about. And
Jimmy John's.
Now we have even more.
I could go for Jimmy John's.
How long is that open for?
And now, Total Divas with Doug and Tyler. Mostly Doug.
No wonder people call you fat on Twitter.
Shut up! I have to say, I feel like a real diva.
You are a grown-ass woman.
Hey guys, welcome to Total Divas with Doug and Tyler. We're going to talk about Total Divas. Previously on The Walking Dead.
Previously.
No. But we left on a bit of a cliffhanger last week with Cena in a really nice suit with a bottle of wine, or champagne rather, and two champagne glasses, and Nikki's dressed up really nice going to meet Cena on this nice little dock somewhere. And that's the cliffhanger we were left on last week. And, first of all, I got to say that if you're as buff as Cena is, you can't rock a suit like a normal dude. It just looks weird, right? Am I right? Cena, you got to find a different way to wear your suit, dog. That just doesn't work.
This was like, what
it
was
looks
this on
weird,
a
right?
beach, or what was this on a pier?
I think wherever she lives, I think he went out.
It looked like a pier or something like that.
I mean, it is a dock, a pier, whatever. I said dock, it might be pier, whatever you want to say. But so basically, I mean, if you've been following along or tuning in with us, like there was this whole like their relationship has been in question. She wants kids. She wants to marry. He wants neither. They've kind of broken up after he kind of kicked her out of his house after she kind of moved in with him.
Yeah.
And so we're on this big cliffhanger. He calls her because he misses her and he wants to see her. And Breeze kind of planted the seed in Nikki's head that he's going to ask her to marry her. And so basically, we cut right back where we left off. She's walking up the pier to meet Cena in his nice suit and the champagne. And basically, nothing happens. They don't resolve much of anything other than they still like
He says he might change.
Basically, all he says is he resolves to not completely shut the door on the fact that he doesn't want kids or marriage.
Yeah, he says that
he misses
he lives
that
a
booty.
selfish life.
Right.
And he loves her so much. She tries to mention about the kids and stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Right.
We'll talk about that later.
So
he just wanted that booty.
So listen. So basically, nothing was accomplished. Basically, this was just the world's fanciest apology. That's all that happened. Like they didn't resolve any of their issues. He just resolved not to completely shut the door on what she wants.
He's gonna be there with her a little longer so he can get that dead ass.
That happened, yeah. So basically, world's fanciest apology. That's it. Nothing was resolved. But they're back together. And
still stick with the Nikki storyline, I guess. Or they all kind of coincide.
They've done a really good job of kind of like meshing everything together this season instead of like segmenting the stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, we cut to the whole cast having like a lunch together, and basically they've. At first, like last season, they made it like segmented and real clicky. You'll be like, these girls don't like these girls, and this girl doesn't like this girl. But this season, they're really presented as they're all friends who get into conflicts with each other because they all like come together and they're like, oh, hey girl, what's up?
Yeah, but from what I've seen, it's like I thought some were close, and then before you know it, like they just talk shit and they don't like each other anymore. And
well, that's just the dynamic of the show. Yeah. Anyway, so somehow it comes down to Nikki's bragging. I guess since they're back together, Nikki and Cena are back together. She's bragging about the bus.
Nice bus.
Nicer than my apartment, obviously. But basically, she's just throwing it as like nice bed, place to eat, place to sleep, place to go to the bathroom. They can go to bed instead of having to drive. And like Bree's like, oh, we're always in the car. Driving, we're always tired, we're always cranky.
Mirrors on the ceiling so they could watch it, or they can watch when they have sex.
Right.
It's that booty.
So basically, Bree's like, I got to talk to Brian into getting us a bus because this is the life that we need, right? I want you to know that I'm like, Daniel's little like bleep out all the times I cursed last week has made me feel like that's a gimmick, and I have not cursed one time, and I'm going to try very hard not to curse on this whole Total Divas. The gauntlet's have been thrown down because I don't want to be a gimmicky dude, right? I don't want it to come off as a gimmick.
I was just curious as to how it would sound if
so we're trying really hard, and so it may slip out, but I'm trying not to. But so they're way more frugal than Nikki and Cena. So they're like, we're going to be responsible. We're going to get the whole cast to chip in, and we're all going to be on the bus together. They're going to have bunk beds on the bus and stuff. And so so they're kind of discussing it at their little dinner or their lunch, and so basically she brings it up. Everybody's in. They're like, well, everyone's like, only if so and so can come. Only if so and so can.
They asked if is Summer Rae involved, and they're like, yeah, well,
her and Eva ride together.
Yeah.
So they're red and gold, red and gold, red and gold. And so they ride together. So she's like, I can only do if Summer Rae is cool, and like everyone's like, yeah, that's fine. And even Natalya is like begrudgingly like okay, whatever. But I hate that lady. I almost dropped the B, but keeping it clean this week. And so they're like, cool. And they're like, so eventually they flash to the bus where like everyone's after the show, everyone's on the bus. It's everybody, the whole cast is on the bus, TJ. Minus Nikki and Cena. But even though Nikki does end up on the bus because she got her tooth knocked out.
No Vinny.
No Vinny. No Vinny sighting this week, which is a real bummer.
But what was so funny because Daniel Bryan.
3 rules of the bus. Can you name the 3 rules, Tyler?
No shitting.
Right, you can curse. I can't. No, that's rule number 1. You're correct.
Is it no fucking?
Yep, that's rule number 2. You can curse it. I can't. Rule number 3 is don't be annoying or we kick you.
Okay, don't be annoying. Yeah.
You can't go number 2.
That sucks because I would always have to go like.
You can't have sex
on the bus,
and you can't be annoying. Or Brian kicks. And Brian's kind of like Brian's swag is kind of up. He's kind of like he's not like condescending to these people, but you can tell he's like super comfortable, and you can tell he's like the most over guy there. So he's kind of alpha male a little bit, not like in an alpha male way, but he's real let loose around these people, like kind of cutting on people. Because like Summer Rae's like so the champagne starts flowing, and they are like playing truth or dare or whatever, and like so. Natalya's being super catty with Summer Rae. She's like, have you ever slept with anybody at work or whatever? And she was like, no, whatever. And everyone's kind of like, oh, that's BS. We heard stuff about you. And even Brian was like, I don't hear rumors about anybody, but I heard rumors about you.
And she's like, well, I don't listen to anyone, but Brian's one of the top guys. If he said something.
Yeah. She's real concerned with Brian's opinion of her for some reason, which is weird. But, Nikki's on the bus because... Do you remember that match, Daniel? Do you remember that match where Tamina caught her with that real snug super kick and she held her mouth the whole Raw? Knocked her tooth out.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't want Cena to... They just got back together. She didn't want John to see her like this. So she's flipping out about her...
she have like brown eyes? Because whenever, when it goes to that when they're talking to the camera...
You're saying like brown eyes, but you're doing breast cups.
Brown eyes?
Yeah.
No, is it brown or red? Because it looked like she had like red eyes, like whenever they talk to the camera and all that stuff.
I don't know.
Sure. That kept on bugging me. Sorry.
Yeah, but she's like doesn't want John to see her, so she's doing that.
Also, they were at. I think this is after one of the bus when they're in the bus and they got to the next place, whatever. But Eva Marie was talking to. Not Trinity. I forgot the other one. Ariane saying that she's happy she got picked for to go to Iraq or Afghanistan and all.
Tribute to the troops.
Yes, she's super pumped. Then Ariane's like talking shit on her after she leaves and like, oh, she's so fake.
Get all those swears in for me, Tom.
she's so fake and well, Natty's there.
Set it up like how they put it though. Her thing was like Ariane was like, I just got on the cover. Like everyone's celebrating and kind of saying what positive things they have going on. Ariane's like, oh, I'm going to be on the cover of like Rollin' or something like that. And everyone's like, oh, what is that or whatever. And she's like, oh, it's an up and coming thing. Like so-and-so's been on the cover. So-and-so's going to be on the cover. I'm going to be on the cover. And then Eva Marie's like, oh, well, I'm going to be in Maxim and I'm going to like whatever. And she kind of like one-ups her. She didn't seem like it was a mean-spirited way. It was, to me, it came across as everyone was just saying their brags and her brags just kind of outweighed Ariane's that week.
To go back before or an episode, they said like, "Oh yeah, I like Ariane because she's kind of newbie. I'm a newbie too, and we're like good friends." She mentioned that, and later on, like, what? Like I thought y'all were good friends, and y'all got together, but now Ariane is talking shit on Eva Marie, and Natty is along with her too. Yeah.
Well, it's because now it's like red and gold, or is it gold and red or red and gold? I think it's red and gold.
Red
right?
and gold.
Yeah, it was like red and gold, and so Ariane's like got beef with Eva, and Natalia's got beef with Summer Rae. So they're kind of like a team because they ride together now. So she's basically take JoJo out and put in Summer Rae, except they actually act like they like each other instead of JoJo never being on TV. Like these girls seem like a duo, and like JoJo was just never around, you know.
Yeah.
So they kind of like got each other's back in a real catty way. Though they're kind of like, "Did you hear so and so said something about you? Oh, let me tell you all about it."
Yeah.
You know.
And then Ariane found some pictures on the internet about Eva Marie back in her past, and apparently that was a bad time in her life, and she got over it, and she didn't want to see those pictures. She brought it up to everyone, showing everybody. Even Fandango saw it and stuff. And what the heck is Fandango and TJ hanging out later on?
They're acting like no problem. We're just all
like women be catty. They're catty. It's like
women be catty.
And
they were they're like the chief players in the caddy. And it was like last season they were both like rolling around over Natalia. But you got to set it up though, because she was really upset about these photos. She was like, "This is at a time in my life when I was abusing alcohol, and these signify like a really awful time in my life, and I hate to think about it, and I hate that everybody knows about it, and all this stuff." And they show some of these pictures on the screen. The most PG thing I've ever seen. They make it seem like she did like Hustler, and they're really just like bikini shots of her.
Yeah.
Maybe she has.
They're like showing pictures, and they're like.
Yeah, you can see like the pictures. Like maybe she has a G-string on. Maybe it's like tasteful like nudes at worst. They make it seem like she's doing like triple penetration or something on these things. And then
look at Daniel's face.
But if they're all like PG, it's like
no triple penetration. But
oh my.
But Ariane shows everybody because she's jealous of like everything. She's been one-upped by.
And Summer Rae tells Eva Marie, and then she confronts.
I like how you brought up Fandango, but I like how Fandango was like, "Hey, looking." He's like he's like the perviest, skeeziest dude. He's like, "Hey, looking good today," and she's like, "Thanks."
I saw those pictures.
He's like, "I saw those pictures," and she's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Those pictures going around of you, like, whatever." And she's like, "Oh my god, He was such a creep about it.
But didn't the way he talked before, like he downloaded onto his phone or something, he didn't see on the internet, or he had.
He was like they've been going around like Ariane like texted to somebody, and now it's like one of those things that spread. Everyone has like.
I still looked at him like, what the hell when TJ and him were hanging out. I was like,
yeah, they were acting like they had never like about to get in a fight over Natalia.
Or is it like, hey, the camera is about to come over here for Total Divas, we'll just hang it. I don't know.
Yeah, it was totally weird. They squashed their beef pretty fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like a big thing, and she was really upset, and I love like Trinity's awesome in this because she seems like the most level-headed girl, and even though Ariane's even though Ariane's her girl and her tag team partner, she will put Ariane in check when stuff goes down, because she was like, "Hey, you need to talk." First, she talked to Eva, who was real upset, and she kind of comforted her because Trinity seems like a really like good person, and like. At least her character, and she's kind of like the one who kind of puts people in check, especially Ariane. And she was like, "Hey, Ariane, you messed up. You're like, this is really like upsetting to her or whatever." And she's like, Ariane's like super fake about it. She's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to really," because she's like giving her the alcoholism story and all this. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to really hurt her." And she's like, she cuts through the BS with her. She's like, "Yes, you did." No, she's like, Ariane's like, "I didn't mean to be all hateful and hurtful." And Trinity's like, "Yes, you did." She just like cuts through it with her, And I just thought that was like super cool, and so she like engineers the apology, even though it seems like super fake or whatever. What else happened?
There's parts I missed while they're on the bus. They did the truth or dare. You said a little bit of it about the truth or dare with they had Natty and Summer Rae, the one where about who'd you sleep with or whatever. But they also said, is he?
Oh no, she asked TJ if Natalia was the best he ever had, and he said, "What if I told you she was the only one?"
And they were all like, "Oh, Summer Rae was trying to make Natty feel bad or something like that." And
wasn't that after that she was like, "Have you slept with any at work?" Though,
yeah,
it seemed like a retaliation thing to me. They portrayed Natalia like she's like she's the one who's like looking for beef with everybody.
Yeah, because Summer Rae doesn't seem that bad.
She seems annoying, but she doesn't seem any more annoying than anyone else.
Yeah.
You know?
Then also with the Bellas, because Brie was trying to get Nikki to talk to John. Then all of a sudden she has Nikki in like was with that lock with she had her head between her legs or whatever, and she's like, "You gotta tell John."
It was just like a head scissors.
Yeah, and then she's like something about like, "Oh yeah, you had your foot in my vagina" or something like that. And she's like, "Oh, that's the only action you're gonna get or something because you need to talk to him because you need to have some sex." They're like, "Oh yeah, I need to talk to him because it's been a long time since I had sex." So that moved her towards talking to John.
She was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Where have you been? What are you hiding?" And she's like, "I lost
She
a
really
tooth." And he was like, "So what?" And it was like over.
I'm proud of you.
It wasn't even like a front tooth. It was like back here that you couldn't notice unless you like stretched.
Give me
it
that
on.
booty.
Yeah. He was
He's like, "Go talk to the principal." Did he slap her on the ass or something?
He said, he said, "Step into the principal's office" or something like that. He kind of patted her butt.
Nice catch.
It was on the tip of the tongue. I think I'm batting 1,000 right now, right?
I think you're doing pretty good.
And then last part where I guess at the end Natty was with Summer Rae and she was like, "Come on, we're about to start the show," and then she made fun of her after she left.
Oh, she was dancing up to Trinity. This is another point where Trinity comes off like really cool because she was like mocking Summer Rae up to Trinity and she was like, "Who am I? Who am I?" And Trinity was like, "Summer Rae," but she kind of like rolled her eyes at like how she was doing. I don't know. Trinity seems like the most down to earth like real person, other than Vinny, who we didn't get.
We didn't get a retweet.
Yeah, man. Vinny didn't even holler at us. I know for a fact because I Googled his thing and I looked up on the thing and he didn't respond to any of our people.
And we had quite a few people.
I know.
It's kind of sad. Does it make you rethink your thoughts on Viet?
No,
Vinny?
he's still the man.
Oh, okay.
He's still the man.
If you had to rate this, like on the school system, like A, B, C, D, E, F, not E, obviously. There's no E. If you had to rate
E for exceptional.
Yeah, if you had to rate this week's Total Divas, what would you give it?
For satisfactory.
Because I thought it was a pretty good show this week.
Oh, are we introducing a grading system now? Total double D.
I gotta say A because I like all the episodes I've seen. They're all really good and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I give it a B plus. Like
Daniel Bryan.
Well, no, I give it a B plus because like they drop no Vinny is like I drop him a letter grade like already. Like Vinny's not no Vinny. I give him a
they had a lot of
Brie mode.
No Brie mode.
They had a lot of like people in the background and stuff because Natalia was talking to Dean like, "Hey, Dean, you're looking good."
Not only is Natalia catty with all the girls and starts fights with all the girls, and she's the least person you would suspect when they were setting this up to be this way. She also is flirty with all the guys. She's like, "Looking good, Dean Ambrose." No, she's like, "Looking good, Ambrose. You're really thinning out," or something like that. And he was like, "Thanks."
Like all the people in the background, I think there was something that happened with Summer Rae, and you see like Paul Heyman stand back to back with R-Truth.
Oh, R-Truth. Who was with R-Truth when they were in the hallway?
Titus.
Yeah, Titus. Yeah.
They were trying to get with.
We should name all the people who aren't like small time players on the show that appear every week. We should try
Fox.
Yeah, Alicia Fox is on. Ambrose, R-Truth, Titus O'Neil. I think that's all this week.
Yeah. Oh, Paul Heyman though.
Yeah, Heyman. Oh, stick with me. I want to do like a. I think we should try like a sign off from the segment from now on.
Okay.
Like so, we'll be like, "Oh, thanks for Total Divas." Like, we'll do it again next week, and then we'll be like. At the same time, we'll do "Girl, bye." That'll be like our sign off from the Total
Just so
Divas
people will know when you can start cursing again.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing? Oh, okay.
Well, no, it's just I thought.
And what do the fans have to look forward to for next week?
I don't know. Hopefully more Vinny.
Yeah.
More madness. I don't know. But was Total Divas this week. Basically, you got the world's most famous most extravagant apology. You got cattiness between Natalia.
Tour bus.
Yeah, you got the tour bus. You got the 3 rules of the tour bus in case you ever get one yourself. No number 2s.
No screwing.
No screwing. And no being annoying. You got risque pictures, which are not risque at all.
A tooth being knocked out.
Yeah, and that's Total Divas this week. We'll be back next week. Girl, bye.
Oh my God! So thank you very much.
We fucking nailed it.
First you call yourself.
We signed off. We signed off.
You're
Count
okay
it.
now.
Count it. We fucking nailed that sign off first try.
Oh my God! So there you go. That's Total Divas. Thank you very much, guys. Well done.
Oh, come on, that's a genius sign off. The girl
B+.
bye.
B+ for you guys. Good job. So that takes us into the hot topics.
I batted 1,000.
So last week we had the prize pack winner. As we discussed on during the Total Divas segment, the person had to follow Vinny. And for extra credit, send out a little, hey, man, just want to let you know WNS Podcast sent us. They think you're the man. Had a lot of people do that. So, it was really cool for you guys to go
I
and
checked
do
his
that.
Twitter feed. He really only tweets during Total Divas.
Yeah.
And he really only promotes the show, which is fine.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. We still support Vinny. We still show Vinny love.
Cool.
No worries.
So we before the show, we did our random, our drawing for it. And we want to send a congratulations out to Jason. You can follow him at JasonBITW. So there's a free plug for you. You're getting a prize pack courtesy of Clutch City Productions and Top Rope Tuesday. So very cool stuff. And this week we turn the table to Tyler. So it's Tyler's week for a challenge. Do you want to do something Twitter related, Facebook related? What would you like it to be?
I saw something from Occam City. It was like, hey, can you guys I don't do Facebook or something. It's like, maybe we should expand the challenge this week so he can participate.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we should not necessarily X Facebook out altogether, but maybe include people on Twitter. I don't know. How do you want to do it? Because I don't want to feel like people, if people, I don't want to feel like I'm cutting people out. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make it infinitely more
Yeah, we can do it on Twitter if people want to tweet us. Yeah.
I mean, we can do it across the board. We just have to check all of them.
right?
The reason we tried to keep it to Facebook is so we can just say, okay, let's just go right here and we'll check everyone.
Well, maybe this week, maybe just the week we can just do Twitter or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
we don't have to.
That's totally fine. I have no problem. I mean, if you want to say type in this key phrase on either YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, we can do that. I'm open to whatever.
Do you trust us to check all three, or do you want to be only Twitter this week?
I mean, it's whatever you guys want to do right now. I mean, it's Tyler's week this week, so
I'm down to check them all.
Check them all. Okay, so
but you can only, if you're gonna do it on one, you can only do on one though.
Okay, so you're limited to one entry.
If you're gonna do it on Facebook, do it on Facebook. If you're gonna do it on Twitter, do it on Twitter.
Okay, so you're limited to one entry.
Yeah.
Whether it be YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, you can only choose one. Okay, so at least we're setting some ground rules.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, I guess, tweet us or leave a comment on YouTube or leave a comment in the comment thread on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. It's simple. It's like I said, I'm gonna do a phrase. It's not like a picture or anything like that.
Okay.
I guess I didn't come up with. When it's my turn again, I'll come up with a better one. But I think this one's good. Just say WNS Podcast is awesome.
Okay, so there you go. So you can tweet us at WNS Podcast is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it on the YouTube page. Just put WNS Podcast is awesome, or Facebook. Whatever you do, that's the way you can do it. And also, if you're on Facebook. And you win, make sure you check your other boxes in case we try and contact you, because otherwise I'll have to send a friend request to you just to get your attention from that. So if you enter it, make sure you pay attention later on so that we can try and get a hold of you.
Have you had that happen with anybody?
It happened this week for the Raw challenge. I sent him a friend request and he was like, "Who the hell are you?" And I was like, "Oh, Daniel from the podcast." So then, after that, it was, oh, okay, cool, But if you have your settings to that, the privacy settings and stuff like that, just be prepared for a friend
Someone
request.
is not giving you a t-shirt.
Hey, good luck now. But so there you go. Tyler's challenge. You only get one entry, either YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook page. WNS Podcast is awesome. So there you go. Thank you very much, Tyler. Other bit of hot topic news for you guys. Dish Network has come out and said that they will carry WrestleMania 30. So that's big news for those who
they're
have
going
Dish
on a
Network.
month-by-month basis.
Yeah, they're sort of testing it out, feeling it out.
No, they're just cashing in for the big
Cashing
one.
it in for the big one. That's right. So for those who don't have
I just talked right over you. I was like, nope, this is it.
Hey, that's fine. I'm going with it. So So big news for those who have Dish Network and don't have the networks. You'll still have a chance to check it out. Broken news not too long ago. The rumored name for 2015 Hall of Fame, The Rock. So we'll have to see how that plays out in a year's time or so. So it's a big news for that one. Now it's time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. We have quite a few this week. First question coming to us from Thomas Drop-it-low-son. Saying, hey, fellows, whilst watching the Big Show Titus O'Neil match on Raw, I couldn't recall the last time Titus won a match since turning heel. I believe it was Elimination Chamber against Darren Young, but there may have been others as well. But it got me thinking, do you think that too often a superstar is turned without a plan for him, or do you think that a superstar that has no heat, an immediate heel or face turn is necessary to gain some interest in them?
I don't think that you need to turn someone just to garner like heat or,
Mm-hmm.
I do think often guys are turned without a real significant plan, though.
Yeah.
And I think guys are like dropped really quickly if they don't get on fast enough.
Yeah.
Drop pretty quick.
But I don't think that you need to turn someone just to garner some interest. Like if no one gives a shit about Wade Barrett, I don't think you turn him babyface just so people will give a shit about him.
Right. Just so the fans who like Wade Barrett will be like, now I have a reason to cheer for him.
But I think that it's actually pretty often guys return without real significant plans for him.
And as far as like regarding Titus O'Neil, like I know he wanted to break away and do his own run. So he approached the creative team and was like, look, I'd like to be on my own and stuff like that. I think it was just really poor timing because one, it essentially came out of nowhere. Like it just happened and he was like, I'm done. I'm frustrated. You lost. It was your fault. Right. And I'm out of here. So it was very abrupt. There was no lead into it. And it's also in the lead. It's on the road. It's during the road to WrestleMania. So like they're trying to get their 8 or 9 stories, which are the matches.
Yeah. That's the focus.
That's their main focus. So if you're going to do something outside of that focus, it's good luck.
Right after Mania.
Yeah. I mean, the night after Mania would have been good for something like that, or even further. Just something to get the people buzzing after WrestleMania. Because, once we hit January, the focus is, okay, who's going to win the Rumble? Okay, now we know that they're going to WrestleMania, so who's going to go from there? What storylines are going to go? How is it going to funnel into WrestleMania? I felt like it was just poor timing on that one.
I mean, they do need heels, so it's not a terrible idea. But it's just, bad timing.
Yeah, just sad to see. But
I don't even know that he's necessarily... I like the guy. I think he has potential, but I don't necessarily know that he's ready for a singles run anyway.
Right. But, time will tell for that one. But thank you for the question. Next question coming to us from Christine saying, why do you think Brie hasn't been seen in the recent part of Debry's storyline? They made it a point to let everyone know that her and Daniel were engaged, and she hasn't been seen in the storyline since telling Orton to no, don't, stop it when he was beating Daniel Bryan a while back. I'd love to see her slap Stephanie right across the face. I guess that means Stephanie is doing a damn good job at being a heel. And that sort of goes back to the, Earth 1, Earth 2 kind of thing.
To be completely honest with you, I think they look at Total Divas as the Divas storylines.
Yeah.
Even though the continuity doesn't match up, I feel like, because when you watch Total Divas, they have storylines on Total Divas that play off the matches in the Total Divas. Like when someone gets hurt, like that's a storyline on the Total Divas. I think that they have accepted or are... And not that I approve or agree with, but I think they have accepted that the majority of the audience takes their few-minute match as a joke or has little interest in it, or even like a lot of the time makes fun of it. And they said, well, the audience we're going to capture with the Divas are going to be on Total Divas, and I think they use that as their storylines, to be completely honest with you. I think that's just how they're doing it. Not that I necessarily agree, even though I like the show, but I think they see that as their storylines. That's their FaceTime. They're going to use their few minutes on a match just to have an excuse to have them on because if you notice, like AJ was like a prominent, like featured player, and even though she still is because she's the champ, she doesn't get in like storylines or like a real like
right
focus on the show, right? But that's because she's not on Total Divas.
Yeah,
And maybe I think she didn't want to be, maybe, or maybe they didn't ask her. I don't know if she wanted to be or not, but it seems to be hurting her, right? Because she's not on the show.
Just a lack of focus on Raw and SmackDown, like regarding a storyline. I think that's one of the biggest problems because, like, you know, I don't watch Total Divas, so I don't know. The only thing I hear is what you guys say, and so you know, if they're filming,
it really is great. It's great junk food TV though.
Yeah, but I mean, like if they're filming over a 4-month span to tell, you know, so many small stories, you know, they're missing out on a lot. But you know, you got to have more focus on something for Raw, something for SmackDown too. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't agree with it, but I can see a line of thinking that says people are already dismissive of this, so the people who are going to be prone to liking Diva storylines are going to tune into Total Divas, and that's where we're going to do our stories. Even though the continuity doesn't match up, I think that's what I honestly think that's what they're doing.
Huh.
Does that make sense to you, Tyler? What do you?
Yeah. That
because when something eventful happens in a match, it always comes back to Total Divas, right?
Yeah, it does.
But that's just my thoughts. I don't agree with it, but I think they consider that the Divas storylines, even though it doesn't match up with.
I don't like that. But and as far as slapping Stephanie, I don't think that'd be good because you probably wouldn't see Brie anymore. But I don't know. I don't know why they don't try and incorporate them everyone. Like I know they do sort of like a pre-show, post-show, and like the app, you know, second screen. Sometimes they'll be together. I have seen that during the post show where they were walking arm in arm. But other than that, they kind of just, you know, they have their own storylines that are separate. But I don't know. But thank you for the question. We do appreciate it. Next question coming to us from Arkham City.
Oh, it's not. It's Gotham City.
Gotham City.
Yeah.
Okay.
It works. Fuck it. We're going with it.
All right. So we're
like the game, like Arkham City.
Yeah. Well, I was.
He was singing.
I was trying to make the R. Kelly reference work.
Hey, Selena Kyle, you want to know my identity?
Is it Bruce Wayne? Does everybody know? I mean, maybe. So the question is, who do you guys think?
Arkham probably like hates Batman. He's like, these fucks.
Let us know. Let us.
No, he doesn't get a say. Nobody else got a say in their nickname. Arkham City doesn't get a say.
Well, he can let us know, but we're still gonna keep it.
He can tell us he hates it, but he's still Arkham
He'll just
City.
have to stop commenting on it. That's gonna suck. But the question is, who do you think has been the most underutilized WWE talent in history? I think Ahmed Johnson is in the discussion. He fits that Brock Lesnar mold before there was a Brock Lesnar. Keep up the good work, guys, and enjoy Mania and Bourbon Street.
Well, thanks for the well wishes on the trip. I don't know. I'm a guy who thinks like your Regals and your Finleys are like, even though they're kind of like known to be great workers and stuff, I felt, especially Regal, I think he had a lot to offer, like outside of just being a great worker as far as like character. And he's got good comedic timing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was like used to his fullest potential. I think to some fans, he's pretty underrated. Maybe not to UK fans, maybe not to guys like us who like him a lot, but, I think in general he was underutilized and underappreciated.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Tyler?
I don't know. There's a guy that's popped in my head, but I think that he was just brought in to get beat up. But
Colin Delaney.
That's what I was about to say.
I don't know. I'll kind of go with Doug on this one. No one really pops into mind, but you know. William Regal is a great choice for someone who's definitely, underutilized, underappreciated as well. Just a really strong worker, like Doug said. Great comedic timing.
I would say, until this last run, I would say Goldust.
He can be intense too.
Yeah.
Before this run,
I think that's a great answer. Before this run, he's kind of getting his due now.
Yeah.
He's kind of like
he's getting that run.
He's kind of. For a while, he was having like a renaissance of his career, but now they're kind of act like they don't know what they want to do with him again. But still, yeah, I think more people are being like, "Oh, this guy is like a really great wrestler."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer too, Tyler.
Very good. So thank you for the question, and thank you for the well wishes. Next question coming to us from 8 Luke S.
Babyface Luke.
Yeah, saying, I've been noticing a lot of hate towards Daniel Bryan on the official WWE YouTube channel. In the WWE 2K14 simulation of Bryan winning the triple threat, there seemed to be a lot of hate in the comments towards Bryan. I've openly said that I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but I still respect him as a wrestler. It seems some of the fans have turned on the Yes movement, and I would like to know your guys' opinions on it.
I haven't really encountered personally a lot of people turning on it. I know there. What's that lady's name who would write us in every once in a while saying, talking about Bryan.
I know you're talking about. I can't remember her name.
She was the one talking. She posited the discussion that she thought the Yes chant was more over than Bryan.
Yeah.
I'm real sorry for forgetting her name. But
on YouTube.
Yeah, she's a YouTube commenter. Yeah, I mean, trying to think of her name, I completely forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Someone say something so I know what we're talking about again.
I think. Go ahead, Tyler.
I feel like the people that dislike him, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, now I know what I'm talking about again. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think they still have those people who dislike him because the indie situation, or because he was in the indies and all that stuff, and you still have those people where like this. I'm not saying that's why a lot of people hate him, but there's still that group that that hates him, like, oh, you're internet darling and all that stuff, but he's way past all that.
I think it could also be a thing of people who fancy the larger men, because Daniel Bryan's not the tallest, he's not the strongest, and there's some of the people who are still out there who are like, oh, that's not believable for him to be able to beat that guy or anything like that.
My dad.
Yeah, and it's just I can understand them thinking that way because you think realistically, a guy who's 6'2" going up against a guy who's 5'6", just size alone you would think, but it goes back to the old David versus Goliath, and you can never really tell because just because you're a big guy doesn't mean you can win every fight. So
that reminds me of my dad. Oh, when he was in the match with Kane. Oh yeah, Kane's gonna definitely win this.
So I don't know. That could be one of the people who might not like Daniel Bryan.
I haven't personally encountered a lot of this. I've encountered people like, and I just looked up your name, Elizabeth, and I apologize for forgetting your name, but people like Elizabeth who've commented and said she's not a fan, and that's cool. That's her bag. Not her bag, rather, to be a fan of him in particular, which is fine. I've seen people like that, but I don't think I've heard much of guys flipping on him, which I think is what he's trying to say. Although I do think there are a segment of your kind of hipsterish wrestling fans who want to like the guys before other people, or want to like guys that other people are not liking. I think that sort of fan does exist because I've seen it. I've seen the guys who like, it's kind of like, your punk band or your indie band who got too popular. Guys will no longer like them because they're too mainstream now. That is a real thing that happens. Yeah. I think it's real foolish and stupid, but that is something that happens. But as far as personally, I haven't encountered any people who've turned on Daniel Bryan. But I take your word for it. But I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Elizabeth.
And something that cracks me up are some of the comments on the main page for WNS. Where they say, "Oh, Daniel Bryan's stale. His matches are stale and boring." I'm like, what matches are you watching? Like, I don't know. Anywho, that's just my little rant towards it. So, but thank you for the question. We do appreciate it. Final question coming to us tonight from 123MDF456, saying, to me, it seemed when Goldust did the Hurricane Rana from the corner. Oh, I think I've already covered this, haven't I? Oh, no. To me, it seemed when Goldust did the Hurricane Rana from the corner, he landed wrong on the back of his head. Fandango quickly went after Goldust, and you could sort of hear him yell, "Back off!" Then Fandango went for the suplex and then the diving leg drop, which probably pissed Goldust off. I don't know, but Fandango has become a disappointment. He's very wild and sloppy in the ring. He hasn't really done anything for his gimmick. When he first started, I loved him, but ever since that concussion that screwed his title shot and gave us Curtis Axel, he's done nothing. I sort of think Jericho was really the one that made us love Fandango. He built up the feud perfectly and probably gave him some ideas like holding up the scorecards and things like that. That and his song was pretty over. What do you guys think about Fandango? Do you think he still has a future?
Well, as far as the Goldust stuff, someone else also commented at the beginning of the episode about that, right? Something to that effect. So, hey guys, maybe it was something I missed, and maybe that's how I got there. Too. I take your guys' word for it then, because multiple people have commented on that. So maybe I was wrong there. As far as Fandango himself, I am of the opinion that the whole Fandangoing thing started out sarcastic and it was not a true. We were really behind this guy. I thought it was an ironic thing. I thought it was a we're mocking this guy thing. That's how I felt about it when it started. And to be honest with you, yeah, I mean, I'm not a crazy big Fandango fan. I thought there were some interesting touches to his character, as where he wasn't just a straight up like throwback gimmick in the way that he's like, I'm just a dancer. I thought there was a little bit more to it than that, but I don't think he's great in the ring or anything. And I've really lost interest in his character even. And yeah, I mean, to speak to what you're saying, like, yeah, I feel like he is. There's a long line of guys ahead of Fandango as far as people that stuff needs to be done with, you know.
He's probably gonna if they don't eventually separate him and Summer Rae, but I was about to say his character might go away like Brodus.
Yeah. Go the way of the Brodus, extinct.
Or they may repackage him.
Yeah. As far as my thoughts, I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier as far as the catchy themes, like with Bray Wyatt. Fandango had a really catchy theme. It really caught on with the crowd, and they decided
I think his theme was popular.
Yes, his theme, I mean, it reached...
So you guys are of the opinion it was a genuine response and not people making fun of him? Because I thought it was people making fun of him.
I think it's a little bit of both. Okay. Like some people who at first are mocking, and then they're like, okay, I'm actually having fun doing this, you know. And... you know, like it drives my girlfriend crazy whenever I do it. So naturally, I have to keep doing it. But anyways, you know, it seemed at first whenever he came onto the scene, he was, you know, I'm this elegant dancer, and you have to pronounce my name right. Just don't piss me off because I will go off to another level.
Yes, yeah,
and that completely got shut down.
Right.
Like, we haven't seen any of that since.
The second layer is gone.
Yes,
he's just the dancer guy.
Yes.
Right.
You know, now he's just... hey, let's toss Fandango out there. He's going to dance, and we'll have the pyro and all that, and then he'll lose.
Then he'll lose.
Yeah. So I think you need to kind of bring back that aggressive side of him, you know. Chris Jericho did help in getting him over, especially with the crowd as well. So, you know, I don't know. Has it run its course? Maybe. But I don't know. That's... as far as the future, it's really tough to tell. He'd have to develop his character a little bit more and evolve it. Go back to that crazy part, you know, that I actually liked. But I
feel like we've been on a marathon.
Yeah, I know.
Show.
It's been a nice little run for us this week. So
the like 3 people who were like do super long episodes are happy right now.
Yes,
these fools haven't shut up yet.
I know. So there you go. We certainly do appreciate all the questions, all the feedback.
If you're 2 hours deep with us right now, you're fucking awesome. Thanks for sticking with us for 2 hours.
Balls deep.
So there you go. Make sure to leave your questions for us on our YouTube page, WNS Video, our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. Don't forget to also enter the contest either Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter by typing WNS Podcast is Awesome, as brought to us by Tyler A. Bear.
Find us on Stitcher, Player.fm, and Beyond Pod by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
And I'm about to tell you the Twitters, but before I do that, just know that next week Ben Karen, director of
snap!
Wrestling News Source, will be in studio with us.
WrestleMania predictions.
Yeah.
Video.
The first of 2 shows.
He's coming from the UK all the way to fucking Texas to get in the studio with us. It's going to be a video show. So all you people who hate the video shows, too bad.
Listen to it on iTunes.
Yeah.
Watch us on YouTube.
Yeah. But so
it's take forever to upload.
Big show next week. We're going to see maybe we can't even get some other people to come and hang out and make it a big show.
Having a party.
Yeah, so
Podcast party. Everyone's invited.
Look forward to next week's show. And for Twitter, the main site's at WN Source. The podcast, is at WNS Podcast.
Is awesome.
No, that's not right.
WNS Podcast is awesome.
There's
for the content.
Right. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. Tyler's at Tyler_Abear. Maybe I'll try
followed Vinny.
Maybe I'll try to get one together for before Mania. And so we got a big show coming next week.
Huge.
So make sure you join us.
Yeah, really good stuff. Make sure you support Top Rope Tuesday. Make sure you support Clutch City Productions. Make sure you support Nightmare Pro Wrestling. Make sure you support Asteroid Belt Company. So many more. Really good stuff.
Yes.
Arr.
You know what? After this, I'm going to go support
Your bed.
Taco Bell.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I want tacos.
So for the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we will catch you all next week for WrestleMania predictions.